Hi there, welcome to Ason Tech Hub Web Development Series. In this video, we'll be looking at how to install Visual Studio Code, which is the IDE that we're going to be using in writing our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. We'll also look at how to create a folder and how to create a file using Visual Studio Code. So first, open your browser and type VS Code. Hit the Enter key. So click on the first link that displays from the search results. So we'll wait for Visual Studio Code to load. Here we are in Visual Studio Code official website. As you can see here, it's displaying the information about Visual Studio Code, and our system has been detected already. We can see here that we have an option to download for Windows because this machine is currently working on Windows operating system. So you can scroll down to see more information about Visual Studio Code. So let us go back and click on the download button to download Visual Studio Code to our system just by clicking on the download for window. So if you're using Mac OS, it's going to dictate your system as well, and you can click for the download for Mac OS to download it. The same way to if you're using any other operating system like Ubuntu Linux, you will definitely see the operating system. So once you click on it, it's going to bring you to the download page here where you can see the documentation about Visual Studio Code, and from here we can see a message that thanks for downloading Visual Studio Code, and we also have another option displaying down there that you can also download. If the download did not start automatically, you can use the direct link to download. So you can see our own start automatically, you can see there. So if you click on the download manager, you are going to see that our Visual Studio Code has started downloading. So once it's done downloading, go to your downloads folder and locate the download file. We have it here, Visual Studio Code. So double click on it and follow the prompt to install it. You can install Visual Studio Code the same way you install any other piece of software. So follow the prompt and get it installed. I already have it installed on my system, so I'm not covering that step again. So that is how it works with the installation. And once you are done with the installation, you can open up your Visual Studio Code, and this is how the welcome page looks like, showing you information about Visual Studio Code, about the start. You can open the creative file, open folder, and do all that. You also have a place for like a user guide for tutorial, just you learning how to get started with Visual Studio Code. So this is just how the welcome page actually look like, and we can actually close the welcome page by clicking on that button there. So once you open your Visual Studio Code, this is how it look like, showing you some keyboard shortcut. So the next thing is how to create a folder. So let's go to the desktop and create a folder quickly. So before you start any project, it's advisable and a must for you to create a folder. So we're going to create a folder. All we need to do is to right click and select the new option, select folder. So I'm going to call this folder dev. So I'll type in dev and hit the enter button. Now that I've created a folder, let's go back to our Visual Studio Code and open this folder in our Visual Studio Code by clicking on the file menu there, then select new folder, open folder. So we'll wait for it to load. So here we're going to locate our desktop, which is directory we save it to. You can see other folder there displaying. So we'll select the one we just created, which is dev. We're going to click on the dev and click on select folder to open it in our IDE. So it's going to ask us if we trust this. So I'm going to mark it and say yes, I trust this location, which is the desktop. I'm going to select mark it. I'll check it and say I trust it, and click on yes, I trust it. So that is all. We can close this. Then we'll go to the Explorer side there from the sidebar. So you can see the folder is showing there. The name is showing there as dev, which is the name of the folder we just open up. So if you look towards the other side, the right side of the Explorer, you discover that we have some buttons, which is one of it is for creating a file, and the other one is for creating of a folder. So we're going to create a file. So we click on the one for file. We're going to click on it to create our first file in Visual Studio Code. So the moment you click on it, it's going to display an input box for you to type in the name of the file. So I'm going to call this index.html and hit the enter button. So this is the name that the file is going to have. The moment I hit the enter button, as you can see, it's displaying the logo for HTML by the side there already. So that is how it works with the creation of file in Visual Studio Code. So once you are done with that, you can see that the file has been created successfully. We have the index file in there. To create a folder, we click on that folder icon. Let's assume I want to create a folder for the images. I can just type in img and hit the enter button. Now the image folder is created. So we can just go to our desktop now. Let me quickly show you. If we go back to the dev folder and we double click on it, you're going to see that we have the two files we created from Visual Studio Code displaying right in our root folder there. So this is how to install Visual Studio Code and set it up. So in our next video, we're going to look at how to install live server and set up live server in Visual Studio Code. See you there.